always read the books when you go home and whenever you're at school. Keep reading books. So here a map of East Africa showing latitudes and longitudes. These ones here which run from here like this horizontally, these ones here are the ones we call latitudes. And these are the lines of what? Latitudes. The ones you're seeing there. The ones you're seeing there. The ones they have tried to show you in this map. Tried to show you this in this map. Geographic latitudes. Those are the lines. Those ones which lie there. Then these ones which lie vertically from up here to down. From up here coming downwards. From up here coming downwards. From up here coming downwards. Those ones are called geographic longitudes. So, when you're there in primary 5, a diagram of such a kind was brought to your eyes or to your book. You drew it, a diagram of such a kind, and by your teachers of SST, and this line marked 23.5 degrees north. That line is called the Tropic of Cancer. This line marked 23.5 degrees north is called the Tropic of what? Cancer. Then let us carry on. Then this line marked 23.5 degrees south is called Tropic of Capricorn. It's called the Tropic of what? Capricorn. So that line is called Tropic of what? Capricorn. So I've told you this upper line shown with the color red marked 23.5. This line marked 23.5 degrees north is called the Tropic of what? Cancer. There is this other line also at the extreme end of our diagram marked 66.5 degrees. Marked 66.5 degrees. Not still. That one is called Arctic cycle. It's called what? Arctic cycle. So that is it. That. Let us continue with our diagram. There is this line marked 66.5 degrees south. That line is called Antarctic cycle. It's called Antarctic cycle. We are still on our diagram. There is that name there. Who can help me pick a ruler and your sharp pencil and we draw this line here straight? That line in the middle of that diagram, the middle of that cycle there, this line is marked 0 degrees and this line is called what? Equator. It's called what? Equator. So the major line of latitude is called what? Equator. It's called the equator. So let us first get to know what a latitude is. Let us get to know what a latitude is. A latitude is driven from our heading, which is the latitude there. So we are going to explain or to define what a latitude is. A latitude is a distance of a place north or south of the equator. I've said a latitude is a distance of a place north or south of the what? The equator. So this distance from here to there, or from here to down here, that's what we call what? Latitude. So let us move on. We are still looking at latitudes, and here we are going to explain or define what latitudes are. Latitudes are imaginary lines drawn on a map running from east to west of the globe. So this hollow thing, this one here you're seeing here is the globe. This one here, this one here, this one here is what we call what? The globe. So on our map here of East Africa, these lines here which run from east, this is our east to west. Those lines there are the ones we call what? these lines which run from east to west, are the ones we call latitudes. So I've said latitudes are imaginary lines drawn on a map running from east to west. They are imaginary. You cannot easily see them with your naked eye. Don't ask me that, teacher, where is it found or where is it standing from? It's there, but it's imaginary. There are some machines used to detect it. That's it. Lines of what? Latitudes. And these lines of latitudes, as you look at, as you see there on our map, they pass here in Uganda and Kenya. They pass Uganda and Kenya. Let us look at a hemisphere. Let us look at what? A hemisphere. A hemisphere is a half of the globe. A hemisphere is a half of the globe. This is the globe, and a half of it is from this part of the equator coming here at the end of the globe, still from here to here. So this upper part of the hemisphere is called northern hemisphere. Then this lower part of the hemisphere is called the southern hemisphere. That name is got after the compass direction, the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. We are still moving on with our lines of latitudes and longitudes. But now this diagram has generalized. It has tried to show you latitudes, which are here, and it has tried to show you longitudes, which are here from up here running down. These ones you're seeing here, those are longitudes. Those ones there, those are longitudes. So we are still in our lesson, and we are still looking at longitudes now. Longitudes are imaginary lines drawn on a map running from north to south. I've said longitudes are imaginary lines. Longitudes are imaginary lines drawn on a map running from north to south pole. As you've seen here, these are longitudes. They are here on our diagram. From here coming down. They run from the North Pole to the South Pole. They run from the North Pole to the South Pole. Those lines there are the ones we call lines of longitude. So let us define what a longitude is. A longitude is the distance east or west of the prime meridian. So this line here marked 0 degrees here, which runs from up there on the globe coming down here, or which runs from the North Pole here coming down. That line is the one we call the prime meridian. Here on our map, they are the ones here. Those ones which run from up coming down. Those are that's the line of what? The prime meridian. So a prime meridian is also called Greenwich meridian. A prime meridian is also called Greenwich meridian. Tomorrow they will ask you, you will meet such a question: what is another name for the prime meridian? Another name for the prime meridian is the Greenwich meridian. We are going to look at latitudes and longitudes. And here in P6, we mostly talk about East Africa. And we talk of East Africa, what comes to your mind that we have in East Africa, these 5 countries, Uganda, Kenya, Tanzania, Rwanda, and Burundi. And here, these are the longitudes. These are the longitudes. These ones coming from up to down. Those are longitudes. These ones are latitudes. These ones which are horizontally are latitudes, and these ones which are vertically, those are longitudes. So we are going to look at this diagram is trying to guide us these lines to show us these lines of latitudes, and this one marked 23.5 degrees. That one there is a line called Tropic of Cancer. The line is called Tropic of what? Cancer. It's marked 23.5 degrees north. Then there is this other line in the downer part which is marked 23.5 degrees south. That line is called Tropic of Capricorn. That one is called Tropic of Capricorn. Then there is the other line marked 66.5 degrees still in the north. That line is called Arctic Circle. It's called Arctic Circle. That line is called Arctic Circle. Then there is this other bottom line down here, marked 66.5 degrees south. This one is called Antarctic Circle. Then finally, there is this line marked 0 degrees. And this line is called the equator. I want to draw there as that's the line of equator. It's marked 0 degrees. So these ones here you're seeing, they have tried to show here on this map of ours. These are the lines of latitudes and the longitudes. And these ones here, which start from this side, these ones are called graphic latitudes. Then these other downer ones are called the, which run from the north to the south, these ones are called the graphic longitudes. So let us move on and look at what has to define the word latitude. What has to define the word latitude? What are latitude? A latitude is a distance of a place north or south of the equator. A latitude is a distance of a place north or south of the equator. Let us continue and look at latitudes. The other one was a latitude. This one is now latitudes. Latitudes are imaginary lines drawn on a map running from east to west of the globe. I've said latitudes are imaginary lines drawn on a map running from east to west of the globe. So this one here is the globe. This one here you're seeing here is the globe. This one here is the globe. So these lines which run from the east to the west, these lines which run from the east to the west are the ones we call lines of latitudes. This one you're seeing running here on our map of East Africa, those are the ones we call lines of latitudes. Same candidates, let us be attentive, leave alone playing. So we are going to look at hemisphere. A hemisphere is a half of the globe. So when you come here to the major line of latitude marked 0 degrees, from here going up and from here coming down, from the equator downwards and from the equator upwards, that part here, from here to here, that part there is what we call what? Hemisphere. Is the one we call what? Hemisphere. So an hemisphere is a half of the globe. Let us look at. So we are still under lines of latitudes and longitudes, but these are the ones of latitudes which run from east to west. These ones which run from the east to the west. These ones which run from the east to the west. The major line of latitude is the equator. Then these ones which run from the north pole to the south pole are the ones we call the lines of longitudes. Those are the ones we call lines of what? Longitudes. So what are longitudes? Longitudes are imaginary lines drawn on a map running from north to south. I've said longitudes are imaginary lines drawn on a map running from north to the south. So when you come here on our diagram, these lines which run from the north